Welcome to the Podcast Guesting Masterclass. I'm Jessica Rhodes, the founder and co-owner of Interview Connections, and we are here to teach you live this week how to get clients and build your brand with podcast guesting.
I'm Margie Feltine. I'm the CEO of Interview Connections. In today's session, we have 4 of your peers who are here to share how they're using podcast guesting to claim their authority online and attract dream clients to their business. When they signed up with Interview Connections, they were where you are now, learning about podcast guesting and deciding to take action to work with Interview Connections. We do not pay them to be on this session. They're sharing their honest experience with you. So hopefully this will be very valuable. Let's talk real quick before we dive in about what it looks like to work with Interview Connections inside our Amplified Authority podcast tour. You will get a professionally designed podcast guesting one sheet and media kit. We talked about that in How to Be a Great Guest. Guaranteed podcast booking. So we are going to be booking you on shows that are aligned with your goals and your unique target audience, hand selected by our booking team. It is not a spray and pray method. We are strategic. We are looking for the right people to get you in the right virtual rooms. And we're going to co-create with you in your onboarding process, your podcast success blueprint, so that we're all on the same page. Again, no guesswork. Everything is intentional and strategic. Our service is so much more than just podcast booking. We're here to help you grow your business with this visibility. You also get, we've talked about this in media training, audits. So every 10 bookings, our team is going to listen to one of your interviews and we're going to give you feedback on the core pieces we went through in the media training, give you feedback and coaching on how to improve. So you're not just getting out there and hoping it works, you are getting better and better and better as you're going. You get access to our exclusive client community for networking, and we have coaching calls and workshops on podcast guesting strategies. So again, we're not just giving you the bookings and saying good luck. We're providing support both in a group and one-on-one with your point of contact so that you will see success in your business. The investment, we have 2 main packages. We have our 30 bookings package, which is normally $17K or 9 payments of $2K per month. And then we have our 48 bookings package, which is what a lot of our most successful clients invest in. It is normally $25,555 or 12 payments of $2222 if you sign up by Monday, August 11th. So Monday at midnight is when this masterclass ends. If you sign up before the masterclass ends, you get a special discount, and it's very significant, especially on the pay in full. So for the 30 bookings package, the pay in full comes down to $15,500 or 10 payments of $1,750. The 48 booking comes down to $24,000 pay in full or 12 payments of $2,097. Very significant discount. This ends Monday at midnight. So this is for the masterclass. You are also going to get the equipment bundle. So if you're not one of the lucky people who's won a microphone on one of our live draws, you will still get a microphone if you sign up. You'll get a mic stand and you will get a light so that you have a good light. We talked a lot about how a lot of these are going to be on video as well. You'll have everything you need for an at-home office setup so that you look great and sound great on your interviews. Bonuses for paying in full. If you pay in full, we will write your one sheet for you. So we will write that great messaging with your bio, your topics, and your questions that are going to set you up to tell your best stories and give incredible value. Jess will also personally audit one of your podcast interviews if you're one of the first 3 people to pay in full. Jess has been guesting on podcasts successfully for like over a decade. She will personally listen to your interview and give you feedback. This is really, really valuable media training that you can apply to your future interviews. A really, really great opportunity. Just saying. Go to interviewconnections.com/call. We're going to put that link in the chat for you to schedule a consultation. You will be, when you book a call, talking directly with either me or Jess. So we will dive into learning about your business, learning about your goals for podcasting, and telling you all about the service and how to sign up.
Awesome. Yeah. So I put the link in the chat. Go to interviewconnections.com/call. We have availability on our calendar today, and you could book Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday before the masterclass ends. So book your consultation call now with me or Margie. And now we are going to dive in. So Alan, our first speaker, has just joined us. Alan, click ask to unmute for me, and then Vernie will unmute you. Perfect. We are all set. So Alan, welcome. And everyone, give me a yes if you're excited to hear from Alan Franks, who is a certified financial planner and the author of Empowered Money. Alan just renewed. He's doing another package of bookings. Some people ask, like, what happens after I'm done these 30 or 48 bookings? And I said, you keep getting on podcasts.
Yeah.
So give me a
Yeah.
yes in the chat. And hello, Alan. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me today, Jessica.
Yes. So first, I would love for you to just do a brief introduction to our attendees here. Tell everyone just a little bit about who you are and what your business is.
That's right. So I've been doing financial planning for 15 years now, and I've always had this kind of creative streak that goes beyond your typical just get, person to person introductions, right? And I've had this just craving to give back to more people. So about a couple of years ago, about 5 years ago, I created the idea of this book right here called Empowered Money. And it took forever for me to get started and ended up logging on with the Self-Publishing Institute to help me just get it over the hump. And I never really thought about what happens after I write the book, right? So wrote the book, gosh, it was laborious. It took forever. It took all my energy to just get it done. And I put it on the shelf for about a year, right? And that's when I realized, hey, this book, I put too much into it for it just to be a very expensive business card. Like let's get the word out there, right? And so I thought, hey, where am I most comfortable? And I'm very comfortable in a podcast setting. And we talked about becoming a guest on other people's podcasts. But I read a book called Who Not How. It's by Dr. Benjamin Hardy, and it's phenomenal. And it's basically, hey, if you ask how to do stuff, you're going to get stuck. You're just not going to know how to do this, right? And it's going to be slow. If you ask who can help you do it, then it's going to accelerate everything. So I started asking who, and I started interviewing probably 5 different podcast people. And at the end of the day, I was just blown away by the professionalism of Jessica and her team. We talked once again, all 5 were very similarly priced. I think they all 5 would have worked well, but the consistent nature of the follow up with Jessica was just above and beyond what the other people were doing, to the point where I was so impressed. I went back to my assistants and said, hey, we need to copy what they're doing with the email automations, with the follow up, with things like that. And so that is what led us to going with Interview Connections in the beginning.
I love that so much because I remember following up with you, Alan. I remember speaking with your team, like the first consultation call. It makes total sense that you had that you interviewed about 5 different companies, because I remember speaking with your team first, and then I think your team member was like, probably went to you and said, okay, I think we should narrow it down to these companies, and then you and I spoke. And I remember it was like the day before Thanksgiving, because I was at my in-laws, and I'm like sending you a text, and I'm like, hey, Alan, are you ready to get started? So
I was dragging my feet a little bit, wasn't I?
I love that. You got yourself a deal too, because you took action, just like everyone
Yeah,
else. Everyone in this masterclass will get a deal by taking action.
that's right.
Did you have any fears or hesitations about making an investment in a podcast booking company? I mean, I love that you read Who Not How. Margie and I are huge fans of Who Not How. That's
Yeah.
how we've grown, is by asking that question, is who not how. But did any fears or hesitations come up for you before you made that investment?
Of course, the same questions that you have to ask whenever you make an investment is how can we make certain that we don't lose, right? How can we make certain that we're going to win from this, right? And so, what we did is we said, okay, if we're going to make this investment, we got to commit. We got to do what they say, right? We got to give it our all. We got to become prepared, right? And at the end of this process, at the end of 30 podcasts here, we'll sit back and we'll reevaluate, right? The rate of return on this. Are we enjoying this, right? And so we knew whenever you do this stuff, there's an inherent risk, right? So how do we just eliminate the risk from this, put our best foot forward, and put ourselves in the best position to succeed? And luckily, we're starting to actually see, it takes a little while. If anybody, is looking to do this, Jessica's team is going to book you quick, right? Like they're going to get after it, right? And however, they don't have control on when it gets published, right? And then obviously there's going to be some reschedules on the host end, right? So it takes a little while to see the fruits of the labor there with that. And it's amazing how quickly the 30 slots go, but then again, it might take another 6 months for all those to get published, right? Well, now we're starting to see the fruits of that labor here, and it's starting and really only 8 months, right? So we really started about February, so I would say 6 months, and now we're starting to see those bookings coming, that traffic increasing. And so, but of course we had fears, that being said, we're like, okay, just how do we process, how do we systematize this, make certain that we eliminate the risk, which the risk is, hey, we spend money and we don't get anything in return. But on the other hand, I think we're on a good trajectory here for that. That's really not a huge risk anymore.
Yeah. And you've been such an amazing client, somebody that's implementing, somebody that is meeting. I know Dan is your point of contact. And just for everyone watching who's thinking about working with us, you'll have a point of contact on the booking team. And that point of contact is to strategize with you. We are going to be meeting with you. I know, Alan, we're in the process or have recently updated your one sheet. We're focusing on like a separate business now. There's a different call to action. Like we are actively working with you on that. It's not like, Alan, just tell us what to do and we'll go pitch the shows. We are actively strategizing with you. Do you want to share a little bit about your experience working with Dan?
Absolutely, right. So behind every good entrepreneur, there's an army of a team, right? And it's really about team building. And just because built this phenomenal team where Dan is in constant communication with me, more than I can be in communication with him, right? Like sometimes I feel like I'm not holding up my end of the bargain on the communication style. So we hired somebody new, and part of her job is to communicate with Dan because he's so on top of it. But yeah, we were probably through about 20 podcasts out of the 30 podcasts we signed up for. And I said, we've been on a lot of very similar podcasts and they've been great and they flow well and I've got it down, but let's try changing the message. And we went back to the one sheet and we totally changed the positioning of it, totally changed the type of podcast that we're going in on, just to kind of give us a diversification here to see which one's working better, right? So we were going on a lot of real estate podcasts and we're going to go on a lot of business exit and business planning podcast here, just to give us, a better idea of which one, kind of an A/B test here. But what's great is, hey, we're at the end of the thing, right? It would have been easy for Dan to say, hey, let's just finish out these 30 and then we'll start that on the next 15 or so. And he didn't. He said, oh, that's a good point. That's exciting. Yeah, let's change this up and we'll change strategies here.
Yeah. And I remember, hopefully you don't mind me sharing, like, right, we were scheduled to speak on a Monday when we talked about renewing your account. And that Friday, like right before that Monday, you had a booked meeting with somebody who heard you on a podcast, which was very exciting.
It was very exciting. It was a very good meeting too. It was very high income earner, so I think they're going to make a really good client. And so, yes, that was exciting.
Yeah. And I love what you're sharing because it does take foresight and vision as an entrepreneur. I like that you talk about how, we don't have control over when the interviews get published and when they're getting scheduled. So it is a long-term strategy that is important to know. Some people might be in a position where they're like, I need to make an investment in something that's going to pay off like right away. So if that's the case for you, like this might not be the right fit. But if you are a successful entrepreneur like Alan, you're really looking to grow your brand, build your business, then this is a fantastic strategy because it really does build a strong foundation for your business. You have these podcasts that are out here that are evergreen that people can find and listen to for even years after they're originally published. So any other final like words of wisdom or tips you can share with our masterclass here about how you've been able to generate success from your podcast interviews?
I don't think words of wisdom as much as the way that I'm set up to the host by Interview Connections has just made this process so easy. I will probably do 5 to 10 minutes of preparation on the host and the podcast prior, but when I get on, they know everything about me. They're able to tee it up. I hit it out of the park. We have a fun time, right? And then from there we try to keep in touch with these hosts, right? And we try to just network with them and make certain that it goes beyond just one segment, but actually we can really be part of their community.
So what I hear you saying is your word of wisdom is to sign up with Interview Connections.
That is what I'm saying. My word of wisdom: sign up with Interview Connections, copy their processes in your own business. Okay, and if all you did is that, then you're getting your, you're getting your bang for your buck there because they're running a well-oiled machine.
Thank you so much. You are not the first client who's told us that. I remember years ago, the first time I heard that, we have a client named Jyotsna, and she has an agency, and she said that too. She's like, "Oh my gosh, the onboarding process, how you're communicating with me as a client, like I'm going to do that with my clients." So I thank you for the recognition. I mean, and I have to say, it's not just me who's built the team. Margie, who's going to be introducing our next guest, like the whole team is just incredible. The whole leadership team. So when you work with us as a client, it really is a top-notch experience. And so I appreciate you sharing that, Alan. Where can everyone connect with you online?
Absolutely. So if you go to my website, empowered-money.com, that's where you can find my book. You can actually schedule a meeting with me if you're interested in financial planning. We've got a little link for a 10-minute financial planning quiz right there. So you can actually have an entire financial plan within 10 minutes, right? So if you go to empowered-money.com, you can find out everything about me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alan. Thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Jessica.
All right. And if you haven't booked your call yet, go book your call at interviewconnections.com/call.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. And yeah, the team at Interview Connections, they are so incredible. They are so, so good. Whenever people like talk to me and just on a sales call and are like, you guys are great. I'm like, just wait till you meet the team because they are incredible. They have an incredible culture. They care so much about our clients. We have a client wins Slack channel, and they are so excited when a client sees an ROI, gets a client. Like they are so invested. Yeah, I'm not going to gush anymore, but they are an incredible team. All right. Next up, we have Lauren Elise Rogers, who is a certified holistic sexuality educator and embodied intimacy and relationship coach. So we have clients who are really like in all different types of genres so that you can see how different types of people are using this strategy. Lauren, welcome. We have booked you on over 30 podcasts since February. Thank you so much for being here with us. How has podcast guesting helped you grow your business? What has your experience been like?
It's so great to follow Alan, who just came, because I was writing down, don't say this instead, because I could go on and on and on about how Interview Connections has helped me as a business owner. And I just can't wait to share. You want me to dive right in, or you want to ask
Yes,
specific questions?
please dive right in, Lauren.
I think one of my favorite books that I read as an entrepreneur is called Purple Cow. And they talk about the idea of how business spreads, right? And there's not that many new ideas under the sun anymore. And so how we market ourselves is so important. So at the end of last year, I sat down and I said, you know what? I really love what I do. And I don't want to change anything. I don't want to make anything new. What I really am hungry for is a wider audience. I've had the sneezing factor that they talk about in Purple Cow. I've had my clients referring other clients, but I really would just love to broaden my impact. And so I reached out to Dr. Jolie Hamilton, who's been a client of yours for years and has only raved about you all, and said, hey, tell me about Interview Connections. And just like we just heard, every single moment with you all, I was handled with such care and such uniqueness. I felt that my money, which is hard earned over here as an entrepreneur, was so valued. I didn't feel just one of. I have had, as probably many of you have in this space, really bad experiences with like CRM companies where the salespeople were great and flashy, and then I was turned over and I had no tech help. I had no point of contact, and it was miserable, and I was stuck for a year. And so one of the deep dives I did on you all is, on the team, and on, do you follow through, and what does this look like? And I couldn't have been more blown away. Yes, Amelia was my point of contact. She was incredible. Every single human that I talked with was so amazing. But I did want to talk about 3 specific things that I didn't anticipate being such a gift to me as a business owner. The first one was brand reinforcement. So I think I understood this. Marketing and comms is my background, but I forgot how powerful it was, and I wanted to talk about it today. One of the things that I have heard, which is not as measurable of an ROI, is someone coming into a 15-minute consult with me, and when I'm asking about why now and how, they will say something like, "I've followed you on social media for 2 years, but I was just listening to a podcast that you were on, and it reinforced the boom, boom, boom." Right? This idea that I am a subject matter expert and being invited onto these other podcasts reinforced the understanding in them that this was something they were interested in investing in. That, beautiful. Client pride is number two. I don't think I had any idea how proud my clients would be that their sexuality educator and relationship coach was on all of these podcasts. I had no idea that they would be the top subscribers to the playlist that I've put together of every appearance I've had, that they would be forwarding it to their friends, that they would feel such intrinsic pride, which is so beautiful, so, so incredible. And then third, and this is most important, and I was telling Jess this a couple of weeks ago when we were chatting, the encouragement and the affirmation that I have had from others in this space. So, as a service provider, I spend a lot of my time as the lone wolf, right? My clients are coming to me seeking a service that they feel is missing in their lives. So I don't spend a lot of time with others who are as passionate about the field that I work in as I am. And so I was really blown away by the beauty of sitting with another colleague who, by the end of our call, was saying things like, "Lauren, when is your book coming out? Are you already you must be writing a book?" Or, "Lauren, your voice is so calming." Or, "Lauren, can we get together at this time?" Or, "Lauren, you're going to be in Barcelona. Can we have drinks when you're in Barcelona?" I had no idea how invigorating it would be for me as an entrepreneur who sometimes feels alone. And it was the gift that keeps on giving. I do have connections now with people all over the world who are like, "Come visit, come visit, come visit." And in a world of solopreneurship, I think that many of us can feel alone. And I had not even considered how life-giving doing these podcasts would be for me.
Oh my gosh, Lauren, thank you so much. You do have a very calming voice, by the way.
Thank you.
That was so great. And thank you so much for compiling it into the 3 points. That was incredible. And I hear you about having been burned by other companies and like being on sales calls. I feel for people because we have too. I mean, we have been in situations that were like shocking where we gave people money and we trusted them. And
Yes.
yeah, it's shocking.
Truly. I mean,
Yeah,
it's disheartening, and it
yes.
makes you really scared that this is my hard-earned capital. This is not just, I don't have like, investors backing me.
Yeah.
This is my sweat and blood. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I love that. I love that you're saying that. And it breaks my heart when I hear people on sales calls talking about that because we've been through it. And it has made us like that. When we're investing in other providers, we are like, okay, how do we know that it's not going to happen? So I love that you touched on that. What would you say, Lauren, like speaking directly to people here who are considering this investment, who are where you were, who
Yes.
have been burned before, who like want to believe and trust that it's not just like shiny sales and marketing and then bad service delivery, but they've been burned. Like, what would you tell them? They're standing where you were.
Yeah, these are real people who really truly care. And I think many of us have invested in something before and kind of, gotten that sales pitch, and then you're just kind of left on your own. That could not be further from the truth for Interview Connections. I mean, our co-tracking spreadsheet that we have is this live living document that I've taken and made my own. I have like more columns in my spreadsheet than probably anyone else. But it is so lovely to be able to see and keep track of everything. There are constantly calls like this. I've hopped on several. One of them, I mean, it was something like, what type of landing page do you want those who listen to your podcast to be in front of? And on this call live, he assessed every single one of our landing pages and gave us live feedback. You all, I felt like that was like above what I paid for. I didn't anticipate giving that. I literally will tell anyone that I have gotten above my investment. Yes, I got my 30, but they just keep coming on. And also stuff like this. They're also so sensitive to my overwhelm. So I just have booked a lot of podcasts. And so now everybody's like, "Hey, Lauren, would it be okay if we give you another one? It's like the sweetest thing in the world. Everyone I've had to say, I'm okay. You can give me more now. But these are true humans. And I don't know, I did a check-in call with the audit, and it was so beautiful. And I did it like, I don't know, out on the golf course outside. I see some of you outside today, but it was so personal and it matters. I truly feel like, and I know they do the client wins and their Slack channel and all these things, and I can tell. I can tell that I matter, my success matters, and my business is really cry. My business is very personal to me. This is not just a get rich quick plan. And I really appreciate that Interview Connections feels like a partner in this, not just somebody who wants my money.
Oh, thank you so much. That I'm going to cry now. Thank you so much, Lauren. That is so beautiful. Where can people connect with you and find you online? Because I'm sure after hearing you speak, they would love to learn more about your work.
Thank you. You can go to sexedforyou.com/connect.
Thank you so much, Lauren.
Welcome.
All right. Oh, this is so good. And this is the client community that you will have access to. All of our clients, all of our team, like you're saying, Lauren, like just incredible people. And I think that's so powerful. So next we have Thurman Trotman, Mr. SharePoint. Thurman, a celebrity at Interview Connections. There's always buzz about Thurman. So excited to have you here. Tell us about yourself, your business, your experience.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that intro. Very excited to be here. But I was writing down a whole bunch of bullet points as everyone else was talking. So I'm gonna try to get through these as fast as possible. But what I do is I build websites, but I don't build them for the public. I build websites for your internal business. And I do it using a tool called SharePoint, which is within the Microsoft 365 suite. So if you pay for Microsoft, you already have access to SharePoint. You probably highly likely either hate it or you don't know how to use it properly. That's just, the reality. I, on the other hand, have been using it for a billion years, and I know how to help it. I know how to use it to help you grow your business and manage your business. Now, so if I was to ask you, where can I get insurance? You would probably start ringing off a bunch of State Farm or Jack, what was it? Jake from State Farm and Liberty, Liberty, Liberty. You know what I'm saying? All these commercials that we see all the time, right? Highly likely, there's probably some no-name insurance companies that do a really, really good job, but you've never heard of them. All you hear about are these big companies that do all this promo. The reason I'm saying that is because whatever you're doing, whatever business you're growing, no one knows about it. And one of the best ways, I mean, people know about it respectfully, you know what I'm saying? But one of the best ways to get the word out about your business is on podcasts. And a whole bunch of podcasts these days, they do them on video. So it's not just audio, they do them on video. So those same insurance companies that you would think about, they are presenting video to you all the time, whether you're watching streaming or you're watching a sports event or whatever you're watching, you see video of these insurance companies all the time and you remember them. Podcast guesting, to me, is one of the best ways to get the word out about your business. If you write a post on the internet, people can scroll by that. They're used to doing that. If you get somebody to listen to your podcast, if you speak excitedly about this thing that you're passionate about, people will listen. You can get them to tune in for 45 minutes. You know what I mean? 45 minutes of listening to you being asked questions about your business that you're excited about, and you start talking about it. It's almost like if you are not a good fit for that person, if you are a good fit for that person, they will, no matter what, they will figure out a way to get in contact with you. So you could drop your link at the end, but if they're like, oh my God, she's a sex educator and I'm kind of struggling at home right now with my spouse, I need to find her. She sounds like someone I'd love to, get in contact with. That's how you hear things. So just remember that before you start to doubt yourself and think, I don't know if I need to do this. Trust me, podcast guesting, where you get to speak with your chest, where you get to talk and you get to show yourself and speak passionately about what you want and hold attention for a really long time, I highly encourage you to consider podcast guesting. Now, I also had some bullets on here to talk about interview connections, but everybody's been saying what I wanted to say. So I would just say my favorite thing about human connections. My favorite thing about interview connections is the human touch. Like I like people. Like I really love, interacting with people and bouncing ideas off of them and talking about things and all this other stuff. And I'm a prime example of what I think Alan mentioned, which is I've been doing a few podcasts and I needed to change my message. Now, if that's me on my own, like if you take a look at the rest of my business, you'll see a whole bunch of things are falling to the wayside because I'm busy. I'm taking care of clients. I got a lot going on. But my podcast stuff is getting taken care of because Interview Connections and their team, they are actively reaching out to me. They're saying, hey, let's get on a call. Shout out to John. You know what I'm saying? John is my guy. So, let's get on a call and let's talk about your one sheet. Not here. I'm going to send you some things for you to do. And then here's another list of things for me to do. I don't want that. I would rather, I've tried that and it doesn't work. I would rather get on the call and then we go back and forth about the one sheet. We feel good. They send it off to the presses and then I get it back and it looks beautiful. It's an amazing process. And I completely agree with Alan where he was like, he's taking ideas from Interview Connections to do his business, because one of my favorite things is this masterclass. I'm just like, look at a masterclass. If you think about doing a masterclass for your business, imagine how that would go. Like you do a 2-3 day, I don't know how many days it is these days, you know what I'm saying? But you do a couple days of a deep dive of really getting to know your folks who might join up and then getting other people to come on the call, all this other stuff. It's like, it's a beautiful thing. Now, listen, I got 100 more bullet points, but before I continue, Jess or Margie, I don't know if y'all had any questions or should I keep going here?
Jess, do you have any follow-up questions?
I feel like Thurman always takes us to church on these master classes. So please continue bringing us through your bullet points because you're such a great
okay.
speaker.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
All right, good deal. So now let's think about music. This is an example that I love to use all the time, right? So if you have your favorite musical artist that you listen to all the time, you're constantly listening to them. They're on your playlist. If that artist does a feature with another artist, this is now that other artist's opportunity to get in front of the original artist, their fans. So when they show up on that song, if they do a good job, what do you naturally do? It's obvious that you already like music. So now what do you want to do? You want to go listen to more music from another great artist, especially if they came on that song and did a good job. So now you have just leveraged that other person's audience to get, to get eyeballs on. That is what podcast guesting does. That podcaster is sitting there building an audience, getting real tight with their audience. So what their platform is important to them. So if they do a feature like a musical artist, if you come on there and you speak and you do a good job, you are now on the other person's radar. I mean, on their fans' radar because of what you brought to the table. So I think that's something else to think about when you do your guesting. As much as all of the things that Interview Connections will do for you, this is now your turn to go and show off. You know what I'm saying? So let's say if it was music, my agent booked me with one of the best artists ever, and then said, you're gonna meet them at this time, and they want you to show up to the studio and do your thing. If I go there and I write a terrible verse, and this song gets published, people are not gonna want to come find my music. But if I get there, you know what I mean, and I do a really good song, and me and the artist is gelling, and it's a great time, it's going to be a great song, and hopefully we put out a great video, and then other people will be like, oh my God, I want to listen to his music more. Think about that when you're podcast guesting. That's the part that's on you. You have to show up, look good, sound good, do your whole thing, and then hopefully it translates. I will say about looking good. I did a consultation with a guy who does video, and he told me like there was too much space between here and the top of my head and the top of my video, which is true because I've been meeting people in person and they keep saying, hey, I thought you're taller than I thought. I thought you were short. I think that this makes me look short. I'm 6 feet, you know what I'm saying? But I guess when people meet me, they're like, yeah, see, Jess, you look surprised. I am 6. Okay, I gotta fix my camera. Okay, anyway, that's just something else I want to point out about, looking good when you're on camera and sounding good. So make sure you got your mic right and all that other stuff. And matter of fact, another tip, I just ordered a mic flag for my microphone, which is gonna let me show off my cool logo as I do these interviews. It'll be sitting there like, like how the news will have like a little square around that thing. So just a tip in case you want to do that. Anyway, please sign up because one last thing. The connection with the people inside of the program. If you go to another program, you're probably going to be inside of a Facebook group or some forum where y'all chat back and forth, which is, it's cool. It's fine. But here, there are meetings. There are literal meetings like this where you get to see people as best you can face to face. Virtual is the new face to face, if you will. You get to be in virtual meetings on a regular basis, meeting other people who are doing the same program with you, which I think other programs fail is that they have everybody doing a whole bunch of different things. Where in this program, we are here with a purpose to get on podcasts. And we know that the initial, we're gonna be doing 30. And we know that there's a step where you get your one sheet. And then after you get your one sheet, you go through your numbers of podcasts. But y'all are all doing the same thing. So you could be like, oh, I just got my first episode. That's exciting. Or you could be like, yeah, I'm on episode 25, but we're all doing the same thing, but we have a different range of businesses. The community is way better than a forum. I just want to put that out there. I got more, but I'm gonna stop because I don't know how much time I got, and I don't want to take up too much time. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you so much. Oh,
Mhm.
and I love that you're talking about the client community. We have so many clients who end up working together, partnering together, becoming clients of each other. So not every client takes advantage of the networking opportunities. And if it's not a fit for you, that's okay. But they are there. And if you take advantage of them, it's such a great community. And I love, Thurman, what you're talking about too in the beginning of like, talking excitedly about your business and what you do for 45 minutes in front of ideal clients. I think people overcomplicate marketing and they're talking about funnels and that stuff works. But I think this is so simple. It is truly human connection. That's what podcast interviews are. That's what our company is, like the culture of it. It's just humans, like good humans connecting with each other and eliminating the barriers between you and your people. And it's so simple that I think sometimes people overthink it, but it's connection. It's just connection. It's very, very simple, but it's so, so powerful. So Thurman, thank you so much. That was
Yes.
amazing. Where can listeners find you online? Because I'm sure they will want to.
Yeah. I'm on LinkedIn. I post there pretty regularly. If you're ever looking for whatever I got going on, if I might have a webinar coming up or you want to, purchase a course or whatever, I'm on LinkedIn and I put out a bunch of free information all the time. To Margie's point real quick, that connection piece, the one of the recommendations I give about, when you go on a podcast is one, tell stories, and two, pretend that you're speaking to somebody without a microphone that just walked up to you and y'all were like, chatting about business. Don't take that interview vibe to the interview. Just consider that y'all are talking, having a good time, and people who are listening are like a fly on the wall to like a really cool conversation. That's it. That's all I got. Thank you, Morgan.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And Thurman, would you put a link to your LinkedIn in the comments? And it looks like Wayne also has a question for you about developing a landing page in the comments.
All right.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thurman, I wanted to ask before we have Christina share, you shared on a client group call about growing your email list with podcast guesting. Can you share it all about how podcast guesting has grown your email list?
Yeah, my fault. I should have probably mentioned that too. Yes. So while before getting on my podcast, I would get like, sporadic people signing up for my email list. Then when I started doing actively doing my guesting, I noticed that my email list was on a regular basis getting new email signups, which is gold in this world. So cool, it's coming through. I then paused because I need to reshape my message, and it didn't hit me until I recognized that the the signups have slowed down. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I guess there is a correlation between making sure that I'm actively getting my word out there and they're publishing those shows and my email list, which again, gold to have people on your email list. So that is something that I've seen a big benefit from, is that, you know, getting people on my email list from the appearances. And that's a long-term relationship you get to build with people. And I love that. So Jess, thank you for reminding me about that. I'm here all charged up
Yes.
about everything else.
Thank you, Thurman. And Thurman,
Right.
did you say where people can find you? I think maybe you just did, but just
Yeah,
say it
yeah, on
again.
LinkedIn, but I'm
Okay.
gonna drop the link in the chat here.
Perfect. And for those on the replay, Thurman Trotman is his full name. Thurman Trotman, Mr. SharePoint. If you just search that, you'll find him on LinkedIn and book a consultation call. We have the most amazing clients. And so if you are sitting here like, wow, these people are great. Like they're so lovely, so inspiring. I love them. Like, join us. Come to Interview Connections, book a consultation call, interviewconnections.com/call. You'll meet with myself or Margie. So book a consultation call. We'll get your questions answered and get you started by Monday at midnight when the masterclass discounts end. All right. Last but not least is Christina L. Woods, who is an empowerment coach and a clinical hypnotherapist. I love Christina so much. I'm a client of hers. My daughter is a client of hers. I just had the most beautiful Reiki session with Christina last night. So my energy is all clear for you today. I just can't recommend her enough. And she's one of our shining stars. She's in her 4th round with us. She's been working with us for years, getting on podcasts. So Christina, thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Love to be here.
Yeah. So share with us where you were when you were in this masterclass a few years ago.
Shaking, thinking you wouldn't take me. I wasn't good enough. No, seriously. So I had just left corporate after 30 years, and I had just started this new business in a completely different field. And I was on the masterclass and knew that I needed to break into a field that I was a brand new puppy in and needed to build credibility and get my name out there. And really, you know, I was a hypnotherapist and an energy healer. So a lot of doubt, or I guess, you know, people don't really understand what that is. So I thought that this would be a great way for me to just share and explain, because if you look on Netflix, hypnotherapy isn't that great. It's kind of, you know, kind of weird. So I joined for that reason, to build credibility in a brand new field and do it quickly. But I had a lot of doubts, and I also thought that, you know, do I have enough to say? Because when you're starting a new business, it's not like you've been doing this a long time. So yeah, I had a lot of doubts. That's where I was. But knowing I wanted to build credibility and be authentic and share who I was.
Yeah. And one of the biggest questions that we're asked, and I know you've generously spoken to folks that that have like seen you speak on this masterclass, and they're like, okay, Christina, can I see some questions? So a question I know that people have asked you and that people that ask us is like the ROI, like how fast am I going to get my money back? Because and Alan spoke to that too, like the fear of like, will this work? And of course, we will never be able to say, this is when you're going to get your ROI. This is when you're going to see the sales. But you are such an amazing example of somebody who has implemented the tips we give, and you saw your ROI come pretty quickly. So can you share some of the things that you implemented that led to a relatively quick return on investment?
Yeah. So I think I was a pretty good student. So, you know, not knowing what to do right away, I think within a month or two, before I was even on a show, I would post like, hey, I'm excited. I just booked this podcast. And it was that, you know, within 1 or 2 podcasts of just literally saying I booked this show, a friend saw it and shared with someone, and I got booked to be a speaker at a beautiful retreat up in the wine country here in California. And I mean, I'm just starting my business. So to go be invited to be a speaker at a beautiful retreat where, you know, there's these beautiful high performing women, I got a bunch of clients from it. From there, I got to be a speaker at another nonprofit. I mean, it's just like this beautiful web and ripple effect. So that was one beautiful example. There has never been a year where my return on investment has not doubled or tripled. I mean, I obviously wouldn't keep signing up if that wasn't the case. So, you know, posting that you're going to be on a show, creating clips, just speaking about it, the relationships, speaking to the hosts have been incredible. I was scared to speak with the host. I'll be honest. I just thought that I'm just going to speak to their audience. But the second that I was like, wait, everybody at Interview Connections knows what they're talking about, I'm going to speak in the green room. I have more hosts become clients than anyone else, and their family members, their children, their relatives. And all you have to do is talk with them because they're your audience. They love what you do. You make connections. And if they don't, someone they know, and they're networking connections. So, those are just some examples. Another thing I did in the beginning was I wrote handwritten notes, and I would send little journals because I didn't have any labeled type of things with my logo on it. I would just go to Target or wherever and buy journals, and they loved it. And then I stopped doing it, and now I'm doing it again. They love it. It's just a little handwritten note. But these connections are just human connections, like, Margie said, and these mean something. And your energy speaks much more than even the words you say, I believe, on these shows. It's just, who you are and your essence is really part of podcasting.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that you said that, because I wanted to comment on the fact that give me a yes in the chat if you're a coach or, you're a healer, you work with people in an intimate way. Maybe it's on their relationships. Your clients work with you because they feel alignment with you. There's just a feeling, there's just a knowing when they hear you speak that you're the right fit for them. There are so many energy healers I've worked with, Reiki masters before. I know of other people who have done hypnosis, but when I wanted to do it, I wanted to work with Christina. And it's not that, she had just started her business a few years ago. It's not like, she's been doing this for decades. It wasn't about that. It was just a yes for me. It was just a feeling. It was this intuitive, just like, Christina is who I feel most comfortable with lying in my bed on Zoom while she clears my energy. That's
And it blows my mind to this day, and I don't know why, because it happens all the time, is I will have people book clarity calls with me that will tell me they listen to a podcast and they'll name it, and that show aired over a year ago. So these are seeds that get planted, and call it whatever you want. People find them and they just live forever. And they'll say, I listened. I love that person. How did you find it? It was so long ago, but they do. And so I don't need to do anything. It's the more I'm on, the more they just keep growing and growing. And I mean, how could I not want this? So it's incredible.
When you post on Instagram, when you post on social media, the next day you're like, I got to post again, because it just goes down the feed. I mean, sometimes a reel will be recirculated or pushed out, but for the most part, it's this constant. Our client, Mark Willis, uses this metaphor. I made a reel on our Instagram actually with the audio, but he used this metaphor where there's tap water marketing, where you have to turn the tap on and the leads come out, and then you turn the tap off, like paid ads, and leads stop. But podcast guesting is the hydraulic cycle of lead generation, where it just keeps going. It just keeps going. And I just went to Niagara Falls a few weeks ago. And so I visualized it will never stop. The water just keeps going. It's the hydraulic cycle. When you go on a podcast, it stays out there and it keeps circulating. It's such a I don't know. It's just so powerful.
It really is. And those relationships as well. So, being able to even communicate. I mean, and more, I find that hosts will reach back out and say, hey, is there a way we can partner together? Is there a way we can do a little something online together? The other day, someone said, hey, if I write you a review, will you write me a review? I need to boost my reviews on Google. I'm like, well, why wouldn't I do that? Yeah, let's do that. So, it just goes beyond. And the connections here, I mean, are some of the most incredible friendships I've made, client relationships, business partnerships. Some of my best clients are absolutely from Interview Connections. So, and of course with you guys. So.
Yeah. And one of your clients is right over there. Hopefully the noise she's making is not too loud, because Christina coaches and does hypnosis with my daughter.
Oh.
She's right over there. So I also want to touch on, when people ask about the ROI, there is the implementation of the tips and the strategies, 100%. Christina has implemented the tips, she's implemented the strategies, and she's seen results. But there's also this trust in yourself that when you speak to your target audience, people will want to work with you. You have to bring that to the equation, because if you sign up and you're like, well, I'm going to implement the tips and hopefully it works because you said it would, like, you have to know that it's going to work for you. When you have a knowing and you combine that with the tips, that's the magic equation of this actually working. Can you speak to, and I know you were nervous and you were shaking when you first signed up, you're like, maybe they won't even take me, but did you have that feeling inside of like, I believe this is going to work for me?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a long-term commitment. It's not I expect, my money to come in a month or 60 days or 90 days. And I think if you believe in your business and you believe in your message and you believe that people want it and need it, and don't get me wrong, there were moments where I had to say, I think what I'm saying and my message needs to be tweaked. So, yes, I did believe in the process, but I also knew I needed to pivot in certain moments where, gosh, I didn't feel that good on that podcast. So I'd get with the team, they would listen, they would say, yeah, let's tweak this, let's tweak that. You have to be honest and say, yeah, that wasn't my best. Or, wow, that was awesome. What did I do? And reassess, pivot, pause, get back on the train. Here we go. So it's been a long-term commitment. And the reason is that I feel when we show up authentically, how can you go wrong? And I do other marketing, but this really is one of my biggest investments of time and money. So there's time, there's energy, it's showing up, it's the follow-up, it's creating the clips. It's not just this part of it. And it's absolutely worth it. I can't imagine not doing this, but yeah, long term, it's the authenticity of it. It's all of it together. So yeah.
Yeah. I love that so much. So for everyone, if you're feeling that inspiration, you're feeling that pull, maybe you're feeling nervous, but it's this kind of like nervous excitement because you're like, oh my gosh, like this could really be it for me. This could be the thing that really gets me to more audience, more listeners, more clients. Book a consultation call at interviewconnections.com/call. Again, you'll meet with myself or with Margie on Zoom. We'll make sure it's a good fit for you. We'll get your questions answered and we'll have you join, because truly I have had folks come through this masterclass and in the next time we lead a training, they're sharing a testimonial because like their business, like they were seeing so many results. They're like, I want to come be one of your speakers on session 4. So I see that for you. I really do. So the first step is to book a consultation call at interviewconnections.com/call. Christina, where can folks connect with you online?
LinkedIn is great. So Christina L. Woods. And yeah, I have lots of free webinars coming up and free hypnosis sessions and workbooks. So I would love to chat with everyone here.
Yes, and follow Christina on Instagram. She got a little Reiki package she's offering right now, and you guys
Yeah.
all to go get it.
Lionsgate.
Yes, Lionsgate portal. So perfect. So yes, go to Christina L. Woods. You can follow her on Instagram or LinkedIn. She's amazing. And book your consultation call at interviewconnections.com/call. Dr. Jim asks, what is the link for the replays? Interviewconnections.com/replays. Your replay access ends on Monday at midnight. And again, I'm going to go over what's included because this is our final live session. And then you have a few days to watch the replays or book your have your consultation call. Inside our Amplified Authority podcast tour, you will get a professionally designed podcast one sheet. Several of our speakers talked today about how you're able to edit that one sheet, rework it. We will make that for you, and we'll create a media kit that has everything that the podcast hosts need for your interview. You're going to get guaranteed bookings on podcasts. We have 2 main packages, the package of 30 interviews, which several of our clients here said they started with the 30. And we have clients here like Christina who started with 48. So 30 or 48 bookings is what you're going to choose from. And these will all be shows that align with your criteria. I'm going to say that again. These are podcasts that align with your criteria. They are hand selected to match your goals, your target audience, and be a good fit for your business. So we don't do spray and pray over here. We do hand selected pitches. Okay. So we're going to get you booked on a guaranteed number of shows, and we're also going to support you. That has been very clear throughout this session that you get a lot of support from the team at Interview Connections. Every 10 bookings, we're going to invite you to get an interview audit. We're going to ask which interview do you want us to listen to and give personalized feedback on. We're going to get you on a call and we're going to do a retrospective of the last 10 bookings, make sure we fully understand the relationships you have with the host, which shows you felt really good about. Do you want to change up any of the messaging? Do you want to tweak your call to action? So you get that support from us and from your team here. And then we also have our client community. We come together for calls like this, trainings. A few of our clients today mentioned about the the website audits. We'll bring on experts to do live audits and trainings for you that go above and beyond just podcast guesting, but really like honing your message, improving your marketing so that you're seeing an ROI from this visibility you're getting on podcasts. And again, what does the investment look like? The package of 30, it's normally $17K or 9 payments of $2,000. If you sign up by Monday at midnight, you can pay in full $15,500 or 10 payments of $1,750. And the package of 48 is normally $25,555 or 12 payments of $2,222. But the discount, if you sign up by Monday at midnight, is $24,000 or 12 payments of $2,097. Everyone who signs up during the masterclass is going to get the equipment bundle as a bonus, the microphone, the ring light, the microphone stand. So you have everything you need for those video interviews. And there are a couple of pay in full bonuses. So when you make your investment for the package in full, you'll get a bonus interview audit that I do personally. And we will also write your one sheet. So your bio, your interview topics, and your questions. So any questions you have, book a consultation call at interviewconnections.com/call. And we want to work with you. We want to help you get visible on podcasts. And really, this is an investment for yourself now and for the future. As our client shared today, this is a long-term strategy. We're going to go through the onboarding process in your first month. We're going to be pitching you and getting you booked. So making this investment and decision today is going to mean that 2026, you have interviews going live because that is what the ramp up looks like. So book a consultation call at interviewconnections.com/call. Monday, August 11th at midnight, the replays come down, the discounts expire, and the masterclass comes to a close. So book your call, interviewconnections.com/call. Thank you all so much for joining Margie and I. Margie, you want to say farewell? Because this is our last live session.
Thank you so much. This has been amazing. If you missed any sessions, catch the replays before they expire and book a call. Jess and I would love to talk to you if you're getting that feeling that this might be the right next step for you in your business.
All right. We love you all. Thank you for being here. Oh, yes. Thank you, everyone, so much. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you so much for being here. I just want to sit here and say thank you so many times, but we will see you all soon inside Interview Connections.